Well, folks attending the National Prescription Drug Abuse Summit in Atlanta will be treated to a little star power tonight. Actress Melanie Griffith will share her story of addiction and recovery. Earlier, Griffith sat down with WYMT's Tanner Hesterberg and talked about her battle with prescription painkillers. He joins us now live from Atlanta with more. Tanner?
Now, Stephen Morgan, good evening from the Marriott Marquis Hotel in downtown Atlanta. As you mentioned, we're in the second full day of the National Prescription Drug Abuse Summit. Tonight in the evening session, the keynote address will be delivered by actress Melanie Griffith. She will discuss her battle with prescription drug abuse and her recovery. And earlier, I was able to sit down with her and Congressman Hal Rogers for a taping of Issues and Answers, the Mountain Edition. Here's an excerpt of what they each had to say. You know her face from the big screen, but Melanie Griffith's recovery from drug addiction is what brings her to the summit.
I think it's really, really important that people know that everyone from every walk of life, there are many addicts and alcoholics in our country, and we all need help.
Griffith says her biggest issue was admitting she was addicted.
You don't want to be an alcoholic, you don't want to be a drug addict, but if you're afraid to ask for help because of the stigma and the shame of it, then it just stays the way that it is.
Her journey is an inspiration to many, including Congressman Hal Rogers.
Well, she has an incredible story to tell. Addiction, recovery, and she's so brave to share that story openly with all of us here.
A story that will hopefully help others beat prescription drug addiction. Now, in the morning session today, Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear spoke about the state's response to what he called the prescription drug abuse epidemic, particularly in eastern Kentucky. WYMT's Matthew Rand was there as Beshear spoke, and he has this report.
One of the keynote speakers at this year's summit was Governor Steve Beshear, who explained how Kentucky is fighting back against prescription drug abuse. Beshear says Kentucky House Bill 1, which imposed greater restrictions on the prescribing of certain drugs, has been critical to halting so-called pill mills. The governor says the Affordable Care Act is helping drug addicts get the help they need to get clean.
Now with the Affordable Care Act, that's going to allow any Kentuckian who has this issue to be able to get good treatment, be able to get back on their feet and to conquer this problem.
You'll hear more from Governor Beshear at 11, plus CDC Director Dr. Thomas Frieden about what he calls a nationwide epidemic. In Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Matthew Rand. Now back to you.
And as Matthew mentioned, he and I will have much more coming up tonight at 11 on WYMT. In Atlanta, Tanner Hesterberg. Steve, back to you.
All right, Tanner, looking forward to seeing the full interview with Melanie Griffith on an upcoming